or if you're watching the replay on Facebook, then just comment as we go along, because I will come back and read them. So just use this as if it's alive, so to speak, okay? Okay, so there's a lot of elements to this, this strategy that I'm going to take you through, but I'm going to try and keep it really simple so that you can like easily implement keywords, all of them, and then I would absolutely love to hear from you how it's impacted your business. And why did I go with content strategy? Why is content strategy so important? Well, without a content strategy, this is basically what we look like. It's as if we're going on this road trip without, is my screen following? Because I can't see everything. Okay, cool. It's as if you go on this road trip without a clear route or destination. So you start driving along, and you start out on the road, and in our case, in the business world, it would be we start putting content out there, and then we drive around aimlessly, sometimes arriving at really nice destinations, but most times not. And in our world, that would be sometimes hitting the right audience, but most times not. And then on the way, we see other cars going to wonderful destinations, and we think, let's just follow and we'll get somewhere nice. Only to realize that, well, I'm not that impressed. For me, like, that destination didn't do anything for me at all. And I'm sure you can relate that in our case, that would be following leaders and other successful business owners and doing what they do, only to find ourselves that it didn't quite fit us. So again, it wouldn't give you the results that you're looking for if you're not following your own path. Until on the road trip, yes, you just stop your car and you probably have a really good cry before you reach out for help. So I think you get the gist. It's a really dark path that takes you nowhere. And it's absolutely not the one that is going to give you the results that you want. So in my 4-month coaching program, we create a clear-cut, solid roadmap with step-by-step strategies that planned out especially for you and your business. But what I'm going to share with you here is part of my process I share with my one-to-one clients, which you can then use to create for yourself a really courageous, that's a keyword, content strategy, second keyword, that converts, third keyword. And at the end of every session, I will email out to you a limited time offer for a free one-to-one call where we can cut through any burning issues that you're having right now to make your content convert. So that's it for the introduction. Let's get the ball rolling. So today's session is all about conviction. Okay, why? Because conviction sells, period. Look, I want to do a little role play with you, and then you'll see for yourself. So scenario 1 is me and my target audience, okay? So this would be me saying, hi, would you like some more sales in your business? And the target audience is like, yeah. Me again, because I was thinking that putting a little bit more conviction into your content can possibly get your audience to sign up or buy your service because they may appreciate your confidence. Don't you think? And the target audience will say, well, maybe, but actually, I think that you don't need conviction in your content. Hi, Tim. I believe that you just need to keep showing up all the time, and that will eventually bring you sales. And then me says, yeah, that could be an option too, but do you want to learn how to implement the conviction part? And the target audience will say, no, I'll give it a pass. Because, look, have you noticed any conviction in that message? No, exactly. And check the results. Any results? No. So now let's go back and look at scenario 2, okay? And this is with conviction. So, hey, you want more sales in your business? Because key number 1 is conviction creates sales. It's simple but true. And your target audience will say, really? Never realized that. How do I implement that? And then you would say, well, join me on my live training. You'll be amazed. Cool, fantastic. Looking forward. Simple. But let me ask you, I mean, simply, which one would you go with? Someone who says, you want more sales, this is what you need to do? Or someone who says, well, possibly, it may or may not help you, right? Well, that's what we sound like. So look, if you look up conviction in the dictionary, and everywhere else for that matter, what it means is a firmly held belief or opinion. Now, simply, would you trust someone who doesn't have 100% belief in their product or service? No, you wouldn't. So let alone a stranger, and we're all strangers to our audience. Well, we're starting out anyway. So imagine meeting someone at the bus stop and he's handing out free gifts. It's free. Do you take it from him? No. Why? Because he hasn't even built up a trust. And that's what conviction does. It creates trust. You'll not only find it very hard to sell without trust, but I believe you'll find it impossible. I want to tell you something even deeper than that. When leaders, and we're all leaders, by the way, show up with conviction, do you know what happens to the followers, like the brain? Something switches off in the brain and it completely relaxes because they can let go, because they know that you have it all together and you have their back. You're holding the responsibility for them while they're flat and, try and find their feet. So as leaders in our field, this is our job, to give our audience this feeling of security. We're under control and they can rely on us. So don't get mixed up with becoming the next big shot, because they're quite similar, or they can be similar, but they're not the same. And if you show up as a big shot, you will, without a doubt, put off your audience. They're never going to trust you. Forget it. So number one is be kind, but be firm. Number two is be empathetic, but be 100% sure. And also be relatable, but don't be wishy-washy, be confident. Even if you're relatable, you're confident. So, are we following? Are you ready to start giving your audience what they not only want, but what they need? They need that sense of security. They need you to be 100% sure. Are we all good? Are we all following? Fantastic. Okay, this next slide, I put it on a slide on its own. It's worth writing down or taking a screenshot of it, because this is really the bottom line of conviction. I'll just take a drink while you do that. Conviction is the extent to which you believe you make the difference and how much you believe in what you're saying. So it's time to get to work, I think, don't you think? Because if your belief system is shaky, then so will your content be, and so will your sales be. Okay. I'm getting there, I promise. Let me just first share with you a little bit of characteristics of a leader with conviction. So have you all got this down? Because I think you should keep it on your screenshot and on your screensaver and remember this. Okay. Hi, and welcome to those who have just joined. Sorry about the technicalities in Facebook, but this is second best. And by the way, if you're following in Facebook as a replay, use this as if you're joining into the live, and really put in your comments. I know I've said this before, but put in your comments in the comment section. I'm going to check them. Okay, so the first characteristic is they're strong, but they're not harsh. Strength is a really important quality in a leader with conviction. People will wait to see if a leader is strong before they decide to follow him or her. People need courage in their leaders. They need to believe in their leaders as much as their leaders believe in themselves. They need a leader who will stay the course when things go tough. And a bonus, by the way, you will then create a strength in your audience because that bounces off on them. By you being strong, give them the capacity to be strong themselves. Next, they know when to trust their gut. Often we make the mistake of talking ourselves out of listening to our gut instinct because of all the BS stories that we tell ourselves. Or on the flip side, we go too far in the other direction and impulsively dive into a situation, mistaking our assumptions for instincts. Leaders with conviction, they recognize and embrace the power of their gut instinct and also the gut instinct of the people they're working with. That is a really important one. They're relentlessly positive. Leaders with conviction see a brighter future with crystal clarity. Yes, they fall. Don't think they don't fall like all of us. And yes, they get their down moments. Don't think that doesn't happen to them. They do. But yeah, their belief in good is contagious. So while this may look natural to leaders with conviction, you should know they know how to turn this positivity even when things go tough. They're confident, again, not cocky. So we gravitate towards confident leaders because confidence is contagious. And it helps us to believe that there are great things in store, really. Like the trick as a leader is to make certain your confidence doesn't slip into arrogance or cockiness. That's the only downside. Because if you think of it like this, like confidence is about passion and belief in your ability to make things happen. But when confidence loses touch with reality, have I lost you? Oh, okay, I thought my internet went down and I was getting all passionate about this. So what was I saying? So confidence, we were talking about confidence as a passion and the belief in our ability to make things happen. But when confidence loses touch with reality, that's where I was on for, you begin to think that you can do things that you really can't and that you've done things that you really, really haven't. And suddenly it's all about you. And this arrogance just makes you lose total credibility. We can tell a confident leader from a mile, and we can tell a cocky leader from a mile. So be careful what you do with your confidence. They're role models, not preachers. Leaders with conviction inspire trust and admiration through their actions, not so much their words. Many leaders say that something is important to them. It's really important and da-da-da-da-da. But leaders with conviction walk their talk every single day, and you can see it. And lastly, they're willing to take a bullet for their people. They're never afraid to say, I'm responsible. The buck stops here. And they earn people's trust by backing them up. Leaders with conviction make it clear that they welcome challenges, criticisms, and viewpoints other than their own, because they also understand that they too are a work in progress. Nobody's perfect here. I wish it was such a thing, but there isn't. So now that we've identified some of the characteristics, which of these, I've just put them in bullet points, do you practice really well already? And which ones do you think you can improve on? So again, like if you want to put it in the chat box or if you want to put it in the comments, I'd be very curious to know which ones you give yourself 10 out of 10 for and which one you working towards. But in the meantime, I want to dig in a little bit deeper, because before I give you the how-tos on your belief systems, I want to share with you something that takes you a little bit deeper into understanding your belief system. I think I'm going to stop share, because then I can see all your faces and I don't have any. How does stop share? There we go. Oh, that's cool. We have some new faces here. So, question for you before I start is, what belief system do you think you're operating from? Like, do you think, and again, comments, because I want to, let's see where we're at to start with and see where we're at the end. Tell me if you think you have a healthy or unhealthy belief system. Okay, so if you look around at successful leaders, they all got to where they got to because of a very strong belief either in themselves or in their product, or they were saying things like, well, 100% believe I deserve this, or 100% believe I can do this, or my product is worth millions or trillions, and they were 100% certain about it. It was that belief system that got them to where they are today. And I'm sure you've come across a saying where they say, whether you say you can or whether you say you can't, you're right. Yeah, have you heard that before? And this is the same thing. So if you want to distinguish where your belief system is at right now, then look at your results. Look where you are today, because your belief system got you to where you are today. You can thank it for, being there. But at the same time, if we don't 100% identify it, then, hey, Helen, distraction, then it won't allow us to move forward either. Okay, so it's time to listen to the inwards and notice what inner dialogue is going on around us and around our offer and our business. So I'm going to share with you a slide that goes in a little bit deeper, but bear with, because after you realize this, you'll identify a limiting belief really, really quickly, and so quickly that it won't have a chance to get in your way. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Yeah. Oh, gotta press the share button. Yeah, you can all see that? Fantastic. So, this is our world, okay? We were born into the world where there were always already people here before us, and they have done a wonderful, wonderful job in guiding us and teaching us what's right from wrong, what's good from bad, what's true and what's false, who we can trust, who we can't trust, what you can do, what you can't do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Okay? Yeah. All of these are really come from our ancestors. It's called their seat of opinion. And they have an opinion about practically everything. Okay? So what's in it for us, though? We grow up knowing all of this stuff. Is it true? Is it false? Is what I'm sharing with you even true? Can you even trust me? Who do I think I am? All of this goes on in our minds. So any thought that comes into our head that stops you from doing what you really want to do is coming from this sea of opinion. That's where it's coming from. For example, I really want to wear this beautiful white dress, but I can't. Why? Because I'm fat, and fat people can't wear white dresses because you'll look weird or you won't look good. Or I'll give you another example. You see, we see these offers online all the time, a free discovery call, a free this call, yeah? And we know there's a sales pitch at the end of it. So we say, well, I can't sign up to that free call because I don't have the funds to sign up to their longer term program. So we're really considerate to them, and we say, well, I'm not their target audience. I'm not gonna have that free session. But where do you think that's coming from? That's coming from seeds of opinion. What's right? What's wrong? Today, it's your sea of opinion already. It's not anybody else's. You've lived with it. You've been acting from it. You've been who you are from it all these years. You don't even have to think about it. It's just automatically you, it's the automatic way of thinking, and it automatically makes your decisions for you. So you don't really take action before you've thought about all these things. In fact, I'll tell you something, if you stop now just for a minute and you listen in, you'll be able to hear a very long conversation going on inside your mind about everything, about what I'm sharing, about my voice, about the slides, about the other people on the call, about how many people, about whether technical issues should or shouldn't happen, etc., etc., etc. Am I right? If I give you a minute, will you give me thumbs up if you can hear anything going on there? And again, in Facebook, like, comment. Thanks, Chris, for your honesty. It's there. It's there. And there's no way you can stop it, by the way. You can't ever stop such a thing. I'll tell you what you can do, but you can't make that voice go away. It's always going to be there. Okay? You can tell it to be quiet for a few minutes while you do something. There's loads of ways around it, but you have to first, it's there. Can't shut it up. Try and shut it up now. Chris, I saw you saying no to me, but try and shut that voice up. Do you want to come out? Unmute yourself.
Okay, Mirelle, we might have an argument here because I believe 100% that we can shut that voice up most of the time. It just takes a lot of practice.
Firstly, notice you said most of the time.
What's that?
Firstly, notice that you said most of the time, not all of the time.
Oh yeah, no, but you were suggesting it. Yeah, it's always, we can never get rid of it completely, but we can definitely get rid of it most of the time. So
I think what I understand from you and my opinion about it is that I don't know if you can make it shut up because it's there, and if you're quiet and it'll say things like, see, I'm not making a noise now, see, I'm not talking, see, I can shut you up.
That's what you're allowing your voice to say.
So then you'll be saying things like, well, I'm not going to allow you to say that to me, but it's still dialogue.
No, so what you do is, it's like you talk to a child. You don't ever negotiate with a child. You just say that is how it is, and then you stop the conversation. So just in this case, it's like, if you were driving and you felt they were like interfering, telling you how to drive, turn left, turn right, you just tell them to bugger off, get back in the back seat, and then you don't hear them anymore.
Yes, no? So can we, let's try again. I think what you're saying is that the voices are there, however, there are ways to overcome the impact it's having on you.
Yes, and it's this, I don't know, Godfrey's a bit of a doctor, he might, neuroplasticity and everything, and all of that. What you can really do is you can train your brain into thinking differently. Right. Research has shown that you can't stop those negative thoughts completely, but you can learn on how to manage them so that they don't impact on your life. Yeah. In a very large way.
Exactly my point. So I'm happy you came out to share that.
Yeah, I'll keep quiet now.
You don't ever keep quiet. Anyone, for that matter. If any of you, by the way, any of you live on the panel, if you want to say something, just unmute and say, Mirelle, shut up. I've got something to say, and I'm all ears. Okay. So now that we understand where all this inner dialogue is really coming from, and then when we look at things that we want to do but we're not doing it, why we're not doing it, why we're not doing what we really want to do, is coming from this sea of opinion, our sea of opinion, our past, our ancestors, our parents, our teachers, and all of that. Now, you're going to tie the loop back into your offer and into the belief in yourself. But I'm not going to bombard you with any more information, okay? I'm going to leave it right here. Because the only way we really, really learn, and the only way we really get out of learning something, is by practicing. And by practicing, you'll then experience the feeling, and you'll experience that experience in your life and in your work, and that is the best, or I would say the only place you really learn how to do something. So I'm going to leave you with a very simple task. Maybe it's not so simple, but for this week, notice how many times a day or week you stop yourself from doing the things that you really want to do because of some reasons, opinions, judgments, considerations you're having, everything coming from the sea of opinion. And by the way, an easy way to notice this is by noticing how many times a day you say the word because. I can't do this because. I can't do that because. That's just me. I can't do this because I can't wear the white dress, right? And then write them down. And I am committed to you to support you through this process. So use the group. Write it down. Write down anything that's coming up for you. Put in your questions in there. I really want to hear from you. And then there's one more piece to the task. Now that you've heard those becauses and you've written them down, it's time to rewrite your story. Okay? So how you do that is you ask yourself these few questions. Whose seeds of opinion is this? What is the worst case scenario if I do go ahead and take action? And then it's time to rewrite your sentence to a positive. So like, I can wear that white dress because I'm not too bothered if anyone sees bulges or not, or I'm not too bothered what other people think of me. Okay, I just love this white dress on me. Or I can sign up to this free offer because I don't need to take responsibility for someone else. Okay, so I'm not being considerate. And again, I would really love to see your rewritten stories in the group. Not only you'll motivate others, but you'll also hugely benefit from sharing. And I dare you to try me. Do you remember we said they're relentlessly positive? One of the characteristics of leaders with conviction? Well, this exercise will help you get better at that too. And in fact, if you go through that whole list that I showed before and all the characteristics, you'll probably tick all the boxes, not just this one. So once you've done that, then it's time to repeat the process with your offer. Spend time developing your elevator pitch until you're absolutely convinced in it yourself. But notice first what self-talk is going on around the offer or around you in the offer, and then rewrite it into a positive. Because if you haven't been able to share your offer or what you do or how you do, then there's definitely some inner dialogue going on inside that's stopping you. Okay? And for those of you who are unsure what an elevator pitch is, let me just quickly tell you that it's like when you go into an elevator. In the UK, we call it a lift, and you walk in, same floor with a stranger, and you have literally 2 minutes until the stranger is gonna arrive at the destination. So you have literally those 2 minutes to tell them what you do, who you serve, how you serve them, and inspire them to want to connect with you. So that's the meaning of an elevator pitch. So, how are we feeling? Good. Fantastic. Again, love to see the comments. Parting note. No one can really know whether what they believe in is going to work or not. But unless you 100% believe in your offer or your product, whatever it is, then it's surely not going to work. So be conscious of that. You don't have to be cocky sure, but 100% believe. And I have a small caveat, because on the last post where I wrote this one, repeat the process with your offer, there's a small caveat to that. You may not be able to do it this week because there is a step before conviction. But I wanted to start with conviction regardless, okay? And that is total and utter clarity on your offer. So if you have the clarity already, try me, go out there, shout about it, and let me know what comes back. However, if you don't, then same place, same time. Next week, we're going to be talking through clarity. Hopefully, it'll be able to live stream into the group. Actually, just before you go, I'm going to check if this went. Oops, sorry. No. Okay, cool. All right. So I want to thank you for joining me. And don't forget, you can always give me a shout here in the group. You can ask any questions, any feedback, anything like that, share it in the group. And I'm begging you one thing before you go. I only share with you what literally has transformed my journey. And this stuff is really transformational. But you need to use it and you need to practice with it to see the results from it. And remember, we're all here for you, but I'm surely here for you in this group. So, as I said at the beginning of the call, remember the emails are heading out to you right now with that link. There's only 4 slots this week available, and then it's gone. So just to remind you, these one-to-one calls is a bit like a discovery call, but it's more about you and what is holding you back right now in scaling your business or in creating this content strategy that converts with the conversions in mind. Okay, so thank you all for joining. Anyone have anything to say or share before we leave? Hey, Caroline, I didn't see you pop on. How are you? Daniela, I didn't see you either. Helen, I only saw your pretty smiley face on your picture.
Sorry, my call ran late, so I didn't get to get on as quick as I wanted to, but it looks like you did a great job. Well done.
Thank you. After all the technical issues.
Oh yeah, I always deal with them. Anyway, I'll step out of the limelight, but I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. And I still need to come to your group and check Cordelia's call today.
I was going to say, Caroline, this girl here, Mirelle, she's amazing.
Is she? I'll have to watch this replay. Oh my god, I'm so happy. This is amazing. Well done, you.
Thanks. Daniela, did you find this useful then? Like, can you see yourself in any of these?
Certainly. It's nice to hear. And then, because you always try that, you always have that struggle. But when you listen to somebody else and you share experiences, you just make yourself stronger, because you get to a point of think, it's only me, but you know it's not only you. But when you're talking to people, you just change that and you feel a lot better. Yeah, it's amazing. It's good. I was gonna say to you, because I do a lot of meditation and I listen to a lot of contemplation and things like that. And what I came across is you have your mind, your body, and your awareness. It's something else that is not your mind or your body. So you're not what you look like. I mean, you're not the negatives that you think you are. Is not you. And it's your material side of you that is telling you. So what I do is all day I try to remember that I'm not who I think I am. But when you're out shopping and cleaning and cooking, you forget, because you get stressed and you just focus on something that I'm thinking, oh, I'm just doing this, but I should be doing something else. I should be doing training, but I don't have the time and this and that. So I'm training myself to be more conscious and more present, and telling myself all the time, it's like take training. You have to train your mind. You're not going to be 100%, but you can certainly be in a state better than you are, because I know myself how I was before, who I am now. So yeah, you can grow.
That's amazing. So you'll definitely be able to see then, seeing that you're practicing this, you'll definitely be able to do this in your business as well then. Because if you're practicing it in real life, just like shift it over and say, well, so what am I telling myself? What inner dialogue am I giving myself when it comes to my business? Who am I being in my business right now that's not really me? And that's, by the way, when you speak to your audience, that's what they hear. Get that? But just one thing, don't be hard on yourself when you're not doing it all the time, even when you're shopping. It's just I have to throw that.
Yeah, because you can't get rid of it, because this negative side is there to guide you. You can't condemn them. You can't be angry with them. You can't be upset with them, because you have to join in certain ways that you have to think that this is here to help me. It's like somebody gave this example, like it's a rocket going somewhere, and then there is this coordinates that say, look, it shouldn't be here. It's just guiding you for you to be where you want it to be. It's like you drive in the road, and then there is the side of the road, and then if you go that way, you feel the bump, and then you feel the bump, and then you're just feeling the bump to be where you want it to be. It's just, but you have to tell yourself there's nothing bad going on here.
We feel the bumps, okay. I think we can all relate to those bumps in our journey.
Yeah, the bumps.
As long as we have our clear destination, we have our clarity on that, which is much more for that next week on this call. But in the meantime, keep writing out that inner dialogue. I can't do this because, or I can't say this to my audience because. I can't show up on Instagram stories every single day saying the same thing because they'll go mad with me. BS. Sorry, it's not true. It's just this inner dialogue that we keep giving ourselves. I can't do stories because people will see me. Of course they will, but there you go. Again, thank you all. Really, I really appreciate you joining me. And I'll see you next week. Same place, same time.
Thanks, Mirelle. It was great.